How you doing today, guys? Welcome back to another video. This is Alex, MTV Alex, and today we're doing something a little bit different. Yes, as you can see, I'm in my car, so we're doing a little bit of a review kind of, and talk about the features on this brand new 2022 Mitsubishi Outlander. Before we start, I would like to go ahead and invite everybody to go ahead and subscribe if you haven't done so already. If you haven't seen my other videos, make sure you check those out. And if you haven't seen the review on my wife's Mitsubishi Eclipse Cross that I did, it was kind of not really a review, but a little overview on my wife's 22 Mitsubishi Eclipse Cross. I'll leave a link for you over here. And without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. So the intention of this video is not necessarily to talk about the features that this thing has, because there's many videos about that already. But what I want to do actually is, since I have had this vehicle for about 2 weeks, 3 weeks, almost 2 weeks, I want to say, I learned how to use some features that I didn't know it has, or how to work them. Right now my vehicle currently has 1,291 miles. Right there, 1,292 miles. And with that said, I got this vehicle, when the day that I got it, it had 500 miles on it already. So I guess they were using this as a driver, maybe one of the managers, I don't know what the deal was, but they already had 500 miles on it. And basically what they told me is that they were not, because I went to see this vehicle, not this one, this actually the, let's talk about this real quick. It's actually the SEL model with the moonroof, panoramic roof package, because there's some SELs that don't have that option, and this one does. So basically this is the fully loaded one with all the bells and whistles and things like that. Now, originally I went right when they hit the dealership over here in Texas, and I test drove it and everything, but I test drove the SE, which had the panoramic sunroof, because that's something that I was looking for. But they did not want to sell it to me until they, supposedly Mitsubishi told them that they had to have them in the dealership for a month before they can sell them. I don't know what the reasons are behind it. So they ended up, and that was a good thing, because I test drove the diamond white one, which looks awesome, by the way. But I was leaning more towards the gray one, and this is the one that I ended up acquiring. So that's a little bit of that, and I ended up getting the SEL, even though I wanted the SE with the sunroof package. But I guess this is a little more, and the difference is basically you can see it on the headliner. This one has a black headliner, and the SE has a gray headliner. And the other thing that you can see the difference on is on the seats. This one is completely leather, whereas the SE has leather, synthetic suede material, which I would have preferred, because I think those are a little more durable. But we're not gonna get into that. Preferences are preferences, and at the end of the day, I'm pretty happy with the choice that I made anyway. But okay, so like I said, I didn't want to talk about all the features that this thing has, because like I said, there's so many videos out there already. I just want to emphasize on some things that I learned while using this thing. Now, this one has the heads-up display, which when I test drove it, it was being displayed at the windshield. But then when I took it home, I was not able to find it. I went through the menu settings and everything over here on the cluster, and the head-up display was completely grayed out. So after going through the manual, because I just didn't want to read the manual, I found something over here. So there's a little button right there that you click and actually turns on the display. So when I do that, you enable the display, and that's how you have it in there. And now you have different settings for the display. Right now I'm just currently showing my speed, that's all I need. But if I was to change lines, it actually activates the light change if the line is marked completely on the road. But if I was to cross a line without the signal or anything like that, it will give me a little bit of a warning on the side right there. It just highlights it. Now, that's one of the things that I couldn't figure out until I actually read the manual. But again, you just had to turn on the setting over here on one of those buttons right here. Of course, you have over here at the rear, you have the automatic, the kick gate opening. You can kick it open, kick it close, or you can also have the button as well. That's a great feature. As many of you, if you're watching these videos because you're either interested in one of these vehicles or you've seen some other videos, and you also know that this one comes standard with the third row. However, the third row is way too small. I have it's even uncomfortable for my 9-year-old, so that says a lot. It's great if you need to use it on the fly, like pick up somebody else, and then you have at least you have the means of getting that person that's 1 or 2 people extra into the car, and you know that you have the room for that. So that's a really neat feature. And yeah, so that's it. Then another thing that a lot of people complain about, and this is the main thing that I want to talk about in this video. A lot of people complained a lot about the power output on this vehicle. This one has around, I think it's 181 horsepower, something like that, 184, something like that. It has a 2.5 liter 4-cylinder, the same one as the Rogue, which I'm pretty sure most of you already know that if you're watching this video, because they share the platform. But at the beginning, when I went to test drive the white one at the beginning, and then they told me I couldn't buy it then, I was actually a little bit hesitant about whether getting it or not, because of that thing, because of the acceleration issue, or how much power does it have and all that. I ended up, they called me and said, hey, we got one, we're ready to sell. So I went to the dealership and I test drove it again just to get a peace of mind, you know. And now that I have had this and driven it for almost 700-800 miles, I can tell you that that is not an issue. So the 2.5, the 181-84 horsepower is plenty for this vehicle. It does not feel like it's heavy. It doesn't feel heavy at all. It doesn't have, I mean, it doesn't, the RPMs don't go all the way up. It just feels like a solid, maybe even like a V6, which is a good thing. So all of you who are concerned about the power output on this vehicle, don't be. You have plenty, if not more than what you need. Yes, it's not a V8, it's not a V6, but it does not feel heavy at all. And I seen that before, because a few months ago I owned a 2011, I think it was, Mitsubishi Outlander Sport, and that thing came with a 2.0, 2 liters, 140 something horsepower, I think it was 148, and that thing did feel heavy. Like whenever you press the gas, the pedal, you can feel the lack of power. Like it'll take a little while to actually get up and go. This one, no issues. You press the pedal, you press the gas, and you're there. You're getting it delivered. So if you were, that's how I can make the comparison, because you don't necessarily need to worry about the lack of power because this thing has plenty. Now, another thing that I like about this one right here is that, you know, the lane change warning. It's not only the mirror on the side that gives you the warning, but if you cross the line, or yeah, if you're crossing the line without the signal, the steering wheel vibrates. Kind of like whenever you're going on the highways and you know, on the side of the road, they have the vibration just to wake you up. It feels exactly like that. So that's a really neat feature. I really like it a lot. And then of course over here on the stereo, the display, oh well, another thing, the SE Lounge and the SEL Lounge comes with a digital cluster. We have all this, like a 12 point something inch display, which is great. But also you have the regular stereo over here display that has 10.1 inch display, something like that. It's a really big thing, and it has a lot of different things in it. You can customize the home screen. I mostly use it with my Android, so I just connect my phone. It has Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. Android, you have to be connected, wired in. On CarPlay, I think you might be wireless. I'm not sure about that. I don't know. I do not own an iPhone, and but yeah, it works flawless. I use it all the time to play my music, to play Wheelset. I mean, to use Wheelset as one of my maps. You have the built-in TomTom navigation system as well, and it is really complete and very, very reliable. The only thing that I do not like about the stereo system right now is whenever you go ahead and try to set up the audio settings, you know, like the equalizer, things like that, it only gives me bass, treble, and fader. Whereas some other vehicles, most of the vehicles that I've driven, or the radios that I have installed, have the option to select the predetermined setups like jazz, country, pop, rock, things like that. This thing does not have it, and to have a Bose system that does not have those features, I think it's kind of disappointing, because you only have 3 settings. I'm guessing, because I have not looked into the details on the Bose system, but a Bose system is always good to have. It's a great brand name stereo system, and I'm pretty sure it's already dialed in to sound perfect from stock. So I'm guessing that's why they only have those 3 options to select whenever you're playing with the audio. Now, noise. Talking about noise, Mitsubishi has come up a long way. I still have my wife's 2012 Mitsubishi Lancer. I had a 2013 Mitsubishi Lancer. I also had a long time ago a 2011 Lancer Sportback, and we also had a 2007 Mitsubishi Eclipse, and of course the 2011 Outlander Sport that I had a few months ago. All of those, the noise whenever you're on the highway was ridiculous high. So basically you have to turn the radio on high so that you will not hear all the road noise. And now Mitsubishi has come a long way, and the noise level in the cabin is just very, very nice, very comfortable, not loud at all. So you don't hear all the road noise like I was used to with the other Mitsubishi. So that's a really good thing. Of course, off the soft materials on the dash, on the doors, and everything. That's it's come a long way, a long way. And the exterior of course is a brand new design. I love everything about the outside. On this one, like I said, I have the panoramic roof on it. The front half opens up. The back half, I mean, from the top it looks like a solid piece of glass, but only the front side actually tilts up or opens up, and the back is just a moonroof. But whenever you actually open it, just the curtain, it opens up just all the way through. Compared to the Eclipse Cross, I mean, you can open it halfway or open it all the way back or put it whatever you want to. But like on the Eclipse Cross, for example, the 2022 with the panoramic roof, you have two different controls to open the front half and the back half, and this is just one continuous curtain, which is a great thing to have. Now, another thing that I don't like a lot, and I don't think it's gonna be an issue, is just the hood. Whenever I'm riding, the hood moves a lot. At the beginning, I thought it was like a little bit open or not completely lashed in, but I guess it's just the fiberglass or whatever material that is a little bit wiggly, kind of. But it believe me, if you can see that up there, I don't know if you were able to see that. I was touching the yellow line, and it gave me the warning over there on the display, and the left line showed up on the display as well. Well, it moves a lot, like the vibration and everything, and like I said, I thought it was completely, I mean, unlatched, but it's not. So that's just one of the things I guess they could have improved. But overall, like I said, getting into speed, no problems right there. Again, if you worries about getting into speed and the power wise on this engine, don't be afraid, you'll be fine. I'm just waiting for them to actually build or come up with the hitch trailer receiver, so that I can go ahead and install it, because I want to connect my bike rack into it. So hopefully they'll come up with that soon and I can install it, because as of now it's not available. But other than that, this thing can pull decent weight. You can easily pull in 2 jet skis, quads, ATV, something small but not that light. So you'll be able to do quite a few things with this thing as well. And like I said, I'm currently going 73 miles an hour, and this thing is not even sweating. So yeah, power, it is there. Don't worry about that. You should be fine. And the reason I keep emphasizing this is because, like I told you towards the beginning of the video, is that a lot of people do talk about the lack of power on this thing. Now, let's talk about the second and third row. I can sit myself behind me driving, no problems, no enough room on my enough leg room and everything. But the third row is, like I said, is way too small. I probably won't get out there, I mean back there. And the second seat has and you've probably seen this, a 40-20-40 split bench. So whenever you pull the middle down, it actually looks like if you have captain chairs in there. So it looks pretty neat and sophisticated. So way to go, Mitsubishi. You're coming a long way. Keep it up and you'll be up there. And oh, by the way, I do have I've already mentioned the SEL Lounge Edition with super all-wheel control. So I have different modes over here: Eco, Normal, Tarmac, Gravel, Snow, and Mud. So I have different settings that I just dial in with my hand. They're really comfortable over here on their right by the cup holder, so it's very comfortable. You have the dual climate control as well, and you can either sync it, or that way you can control both at the same time, or you can have your wife play with whatever comfortable settings she wants. You have heated front and back on this trim level, heated front and rear seats, middle seats on the SEL level, and that's a really good thing. Although my kids are just pressing the buttons all the time, so I'm getting a little bit worried about that, so hopefully it'll last. And they can also control the AC, I think, from the back as well, or I can control it over here on the front as well. So again, all the bells and whistles. You have park assist, you have the cameras, different camera views on the whenever you're parking. Another thing that I was struggling for like a week and a half. Every time I was backing up, my driver's side mirror will go down. Okay, and that's a good thing. That's a really good feature. But my passenger's mirror was not doing that. So,
caution, toll booth.
What I wanted, it was actually to have my passenger to tilt down, so that way I can see the curve and not the driver one, and I couldn't figure it out. So after searching a little bit and a little bit and a little bit, you have these controls right here. So this one activates that feature on the driver's side. This one activates that feature on the passenger side, and you can even have them on both of them. So you can have both of them to tilt down, or you can either have one or the other one, or none of them. So that's a really neat feature. Again, you will not find those settings on the display over here. You're gonna have them over here. And the other thing, that every time you lock the vehicle, the mirrors fold in. That's a great feature that I love. And I think those can also be controlled from the display menu over here up ahead on the cluster. There's a lot of things that you can control in there, different things that you can see in there. So yep, very, very, very complete. It's a very complete vehicle, and there's nothing I can say about, almost nothing wrong that I can say about this thing so far. Again, like I said, I wanted to give you my perspective on a few weeks of riding this thing, how it feels. MPG wise, is giving me about 20, it's right there, right now 25.6 miles per gallon, and that's combined driving. That's city and highway, stop and go traffic and things like that. It's all combined, so it's not bad in there. Not bad in there. I was expecting to see a way smaller number, so it's actually very close to what they say it gives. So again, this is gonna all change depending on your driving scenarios. Over here I'm in the Houston area, so this is sea level. And yeah, oh, by the way, this is also, if you saw the video on my wife's 2022 Eclipse Cross, that was the first 2022 Eclipse Cross sold in Texas. And guess what? First 2022 Outlanders sold in Texas. How do I know that? Because the dealers, basically over here in Houston, this dealership is next to the port where they arrive. And this dealership has first pick on everything that comes in Texas. So yes, and it was the first one, because even since they got them, this is the first one that got sold. Again, I was really lucky, and I basically got what I wanted. So even if you go with the ES model, you're gonna have a lot of features in there as well. Even 20-inch wheels. Even 20-inch wheels, so the exterior is gonna look almost the same as this one. The only thing that's gonna change is gonna be the displays and the AC. I mean, I think also the AC controls and the seats. But other than that, I hope that you like this video. If you learned something today, if you're looking to buy one of these, again, do not get deceived because of the lack of power. This thing has plenty power. I just lowered my AC because I just noticed that it was all the way at full blast, and now I'm a little cold, so now you should be able to hear me a little bit better. And hopefully this did not destroy the video. But yeah, if you're considering it because of the lack of power, let that not be one of the issues. You'll have everything that you need. I mean, of course, you're not gonna be towing like if you were gonna tow with a Suburban. That's not the case. This is a mid-size crossover SUV. So, but it's very capable, and you'll be happy if you select one of these. I just wanted to add this at the end because I just filled up my gas tank, and as you can see, I ran 297 miles, and I filled up 13.026 gallons, and the calculated MPG is not 25.1, it's actually 22.8 miles per gallon. So I wouldn't trust that either. Hopefully it gets better once I get an actual trip, and I'll probably update on that one. Again, make sure if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed, I hope that you do it by now. If you haven't seen my other videos, I have a few more reviews on vehicles and mechanic DIY stuff, but I do a lot of mountain bike. If you're into that as well, make sure you please share this channel with people who's interested about that. Other than that, that's my point of view on this one. That's it for this one, and I'll see you on the trails. Goodbye.